There's this family secret that the men in the family can travel in time.
This is such a weird joke.
It's not a joke.
If it's true, which it isn't.
Although it is.
But if it was, which it's not.
Which it is.
How would I actually...
You go into a dark place, clench your fists, think of the moment you're going to, and you'll find yourself there.
This movie's all about going back. So can you take me back to the nadir of human existence, junior high school, and describe one of those?
We have to go there?
We're going there. It can't be the best. It's got to be the worst. I mean, we're talking, for me, it's acne, it's hammer pants. There's a perm involved.
Oh, yeah, there's a perm involved.
It's bad.
For so long. Like, that perm just never came out.
No.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah.
So what's yours? If you're going to take me back to junior high.
It's not pretty. You sure? You ready?
Well, there was a moment when my teacher grabbed me by the hair to drag me out in front of the class. And in those days, I had the most calamitous thing that happened to me when I was a young man was that when I reached puberty, my hair exploded into a white afro. And there was no precedent for that in the iconography of the time. It meant I couldn't be in the Rolling Stones. It meant I couldn't be a Beatle, obviously. And there was no...
Hello, Simon and Garfunkel.
Well, there was Simon and Garfunkel. He was my only light, you know, in an otherwise dark world. And it was a terrible thing. And I used to put stuff on it to make it look straight. You know, guess how well that worked. And when the teacher took his hand away from my hair, he went, "Nighy, what horrible hair you have." And the whole class thought it was Christmas, and I took about 3 years to get over it. So I think what would happen is I'd have great hair, or I'd turn. What would I do? Pull a gun? No, I don't know what. I'd go into a song and dance routine, and suddenly my hair would become beautiful and long, and everything would work out.
I was fascinated with just doing stuff like pulling imaginary string out of my head at the front of the class for like an hour before I was sent out. I would sit there and do this. I don't know.
Couldn't you just tell the teacher you were extracting thoughts?
I think she knows that I'm being a jackass, and so I remember she said, "Are you going to stop doing that?" And I went,
There was an incident with a Bunsen burner. I can't remember what happened, if it was my hair or someone's hair, but it was, you know, science class, that sort of thing. And I was so upset because I got in trouble and I was sent to the principal's office, which never happened to me in my life.
For me, it was always going to be all about love. I'm Tim.
I'm Mary.
It's my mother's name.
I remind you of your mother?
Obviously, I should have thought these through more. Could you give me 1 second? I'm Tim.
I'm Mary.
I love your eyes.
Do you?
I love the rest of your face, too. Haven't even looked further down, but I'm sure it's all fantastic. I'm sure it'll be better next time.
Well done. Some people make a real mess of it the first time.
Amateurs.
And then I was also watching, I remember it was the day I was watching the girl beside me carve her initials into her arm with a compass. And I was like, get me out of here. Get me out of here.
They do that in Canada? I think they self-mutilate?
Pretty tough there. I know, everyone thinks we're really nice and sweet, but we're pretty tough.
Some days you want to relive forever. Will you marry me?
I think I'll go for yes.
Some days you only want to live once.
I am so uninterested in a life without your father.
It never occurred to me that I might lose you.
I never said you could fix everything. Not without consequences.
It's so good to see you.
We've never met before.
Oh, no.
People talk about the difference between like British comedy and American comedy. Where do you see the line being drawn? What's the difference?
I think sometimes, I don't know if this is peculiar to England, but the comedy seems to depend on, you know, self-depreciatory stuff, you know, like, and in Richard's case, you know, nervous, anxious, timid men, usually around women, who can't do what I think my daughter calls lean in, which is when you lean in to kiss them on the first, second, third, fourth date. I don't know where you stand on those things.
Everything can be a joke in British comedy. Everything is up for grabs. Nothing is too precious, which I love, you know, and it's always with a wink and a nod. And yeah, I think everything's on the table.
I don't know that I buy that it's a racial thing because the great British comedies, the Monty Python comedies, which have absolutely nothing to do with me, and I don't think there's much comparison between Annie Hall and Animal House. So I think there are just some of us who focus on slightly more low-key romantic things, and then other people who do other things.
What is the best piece of relationship advice you could give someone? Because you make great romances in movies.
I think my dad used to say this wonderful thing, which was, you can't be happier than happy. That if you find happiness and if you're enjoying yourself, don't think, oh, but wait a minute, in the next room there's a girl with slightly bigger hair. Or there's a hotel with, there's a hotel with a bigger swimming pool. If you're happy, that's the best and the most wonderful thing. Don't try and be happier than that.
What do I do?
You have to use it to make your life the way you want it to be.
I never know what the future holds, just like everyone else.
Time catches up to all of us, my son.
My dad. I've tried to live every day as if it was the final day of my extraordinary, ordinary life.
I hope I see you again.
You will. My whole life depends on it.